In this video, I'll demonstrate how the Netinstall utility can be used in the case of software corruption or to do a full reformat and reinstall. A great feature of MikroTik devices is that they can be recovered under almost any failure short of a hardware fault. This includes lost password, software corruption, and disk errors. Note that Netinstall is not a password recovery method. If your password is lost, the only means of root recovery is either a full reset or a reinstall of the system. It can be used to reinstall the root to default in the case of lost password, as we had mentioned. It can be used when the OS becomes corrupted for some reason. And also note that if no OS is available, the root board device will automatically try to find a Netinstall server. Netinstall is designed to run on Windows computers. However, there is a Linux CLI version available. When you install, the license will be kept in the case of root board devices, so you don't need to worry about purchasing a new license after that. You will need a direct connection to the router. You can either be plugged directly in from your laptop or desktop's Ethernet port, or you can be plugged into the same switch. The Netinstall utility can be obtained from the mikrotik.com website. Once we browse the software, we're able to scroll down until we find the Netinstall utility. You'll notice that Netinstall is available for Windows 64-bit, and there's now also a version for the Linux CLI. I'll click on the Netinstall utility to download it, and at the same time I'm also going to need a version of root.os that I would like to install with the Netinstall utility. I'll therefore scroll up to expose the rest of the packages. In this case I'm going to choose the ARM main package and I'll download that. Once I've unzipped the Netinstall application, I can start it up, and the first thing I need to do is make sure that allows booting from the network. In order to do that, I'll click the Net Booting button, make sure the boot server is enabled, and I'll type out an IP address that is valid for my network but is not currently being used by any device. Once I've done that, I can click OK, and the system is now ready and waiting for a device to become active. The next step is to boot up the device in Netinstall mode. In order to do this, I'll need to press the reset button and then power on the device at the same time. I then need to wait the required amount of time in order for the device to enter Netinstall. So that is around 8 seconds for it to go into reset mode. I'll keep holding on. Another 5 seconds will put it into cap mode. Then I'll keep it on. Another 5 seconds until the LED turns off, at which stage I'll release the reset button and wait for the router to appear in the Netinstall window. Once the router has booted up and found the Netinstall server, you can see it has now appeared in the main Netinstall window. After I select it, it automatically filters down the list that I can select from in order to install the device. At this point, I can click on root.os on the correct version that I want to, and I can hit install. Note that there are a few other options that I can specify prior to doing the Netinstall, depending on how I want to configure the router. For example, I can select keep old configuration if this was just an upgrade of the software. I could also add an IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway for the device. And I can even click on configure script and select some kind of pre-made script that has root.os commands ready to be installed. That will format the device, upload that file, and once root.os is fully installed, it will run the file and install whatever default configuration I wanted. In summary then, there are a number of places where Netinstall might be useful. First of all, if we need to do a full format and reinstallation of the router, especially in the case of something like lost password or corruption of the software, Netinstall can assist with that. Another useful function is when you're having disk space issues upgrading from root.os version 6 to version 7, often a full format of the drive is enough to clear up enough space and allow that update to go smoothly. And of course, we can use it to apply a new default configuration after we've done the format and reinstall. Hope this video helped you out and hope to see you again in future.